Well, it's been a while, but I'm back. Things are going well. Bad Batch, Season 3, very good. X-Men 97, off to a good start, so I highly recommend both of those games. Helldivers, well, we play that almost every night. But my name is Blackbond. If you don't know who I am, I'm a guy who talks about video games. I'm a guy who talks about sports. I'm a guy who talks about interesting topics going on in the world. We have a podcast with myself, Broken Games HDR, Kid Smooth, Jack Move Johnny, Alex, and occasionally Blandrew, called the Welcome Bill Podcast Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, non-Shokyo time. If you like to support our work and what we do, you can always join the Patreon. You can always get access to the After Dark. You can always have fun. You can always do all the things you'd like to do in a fun gaming community. So, today I want to talk about the PS5 Pro, what I have dubbed and called the PS4 Pro. So we had a PS4 Pro, the PS5 is the Pro, and the PS5 Pro is the PS4 Pro, the 3 Pro, the Triple Pro, the Tri Pro, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people, actually I won't even say a lot of people, BG and a couple people, think that this piece of hardware is so needed, so wanted, so beneficial, and that why shouldn't we want it? Sounds like Sega making a whole bunch of unneeded, useless hardware from the PlayStation Portal to VR2 to now a Pro. Sony is just making hardware after hardware after hardware, and I can't see any of these things benefiting anything outside of, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you choose to look at it, the Portal. Because let's be real, VR is dead. VR will never succeed on a singular exclusive platform. It needs a universal appeal and a multi-platform appeal. VR is just not large enough to sustain something on the PlayStation and the PlayStation alone. Now, the Portal is something that can work with PlayStation. It'd be better if it was like the Switch and had its own native hardware. You didn't exactly need a PlayStation 5, but the Portal offers something that the regular PlayStation does not: portability. What does the PlayStation 5 Pro or the PS4 Pro do? It does nothing. What is the market for it? Nobody can tell me what the market is for. Now, hey, Bond, you're a hypocrite. You have a PlayStation 4 Pro. Yes, I do. Somebody bought it for me. But look at how the PlayStation 4 Pro was advertised. We were in a time of transition, going from 1080p to 4K. So the Pro was a console, a machine that was helping you bridge the gap to getting into 4K gaming. Sony was also making the console be known that, hey, we know that our gamers and console gamers, potential buyers, current gamers, or even possibly future gamers are looking at PC. And the Pro was a way to keep their base on a console or to keep people from going from a PC and to sticking with a console. That strategy does not apply with the PlayStation 5 Pro because Sony is already putting their games on a PC. So you can't advertise a console to keep you on the PlayStation 5 and not go to PC when you're putting your games on the PC anyway. So that makes no sense. So from a marketing and a market share standpoint, what does the Pro even do? Microsoft is already getting their asses kicked by Sony in every venue possible. Sony's destroying them. They don't need a Pro. Nintendo is obliterating Sony everywhere that they're not beating Microsoft. They have no foothold in Japan. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, whatever it is called. I really need to start playing that game and get off Helldivers. But if that was on the Nintendo Switch, it would sell a hell of a lot better. And the Pro is not going to help Sony in Japan. That's why I say the Portal is a much better product for Japan, because something like that actually appeals to people that aren't really interested in the PlayStation right now. It appeals to people in Japan. It just doesn't have native hardware, so you got to buy one to get the other. The Pro really doesn't appeal to anybody Because let's be real, if you were really interested in a PS5 Pro, you would just get a PC. You would. The games are coming out anyway. You got your God of Wars, you got your Spider-Mans, you got your Days Gone, you got your Horizons. They're all coming to PC. The gap is being bridged. We are getting to a point where these games are coming to PC quicker and quicker, sooner and sooner. The gap is becoming smaller and smaller. We are almost 5 years in to the PlayStation 5, and we still do not have not one game from Sony's in-house developers that pushes the PlayStation outside of Spider-Man 2. That is the only exclusive game on a PlayStation 5 built on a PlayStation 5 for the PlayStation 5 to run only on a PlayStation 5 in almost 5 years. That's crazy. We can't even get a game in 4 years built for the PS5, and they're moving on to a Pro model. How insane is that? They can't even tap out the original console, and they're moving on to the next console. Now, typically, you release a later console or a revision of a console later down the line when you're trying to push more things and you can't because the hardware is weak. But I'm not seeing anything out on the market the PlayStation 5 can't do. Okay, you're not going to get max settings, you're not going to get crazy anti-aliasing, you're not going to get the ray tracing and the super sampling, but as far as gameplay goes, there's nothing the PlayStation 5 can't do. I mean, the Switch is out here obliterating everything, and it really can't do a fraction of what the PlayStation 5 can do. I just want to know who this console's for. I really do, because it makes no sense. You're not being pushed to bring out anything more graphically demanding. Your studios aren't pushing anything that are more graphically demanding. Like, all this is doing, it's kind of a waste because the people that even want this machine to begin with are already PC gamers that most likely have 30 or even 40 series cards. So I'm sorry, I'm confused by this useless piece of tech. Sony could be putting all this money and all of its R&D into an actual PS6 further down the line, or actually use this money to improve, or I don't know, make games for the current machine they have now. Just a thought. Just a thought. But yeah, I don't know what Sony is thinking right now. I mean, I thought we were in an era where we're going to stop pushing hardware, period, and start pushing more software. I mean, we are at a time where game development budgets and the time to make a game is absolutely staggering and absolutely insane. So the solution to this issue of games taking longer and games being too demanding to make and games being pushed graphically to a point where they take long and they're expensive is, I don't know, let's make a machine to make that even a bigger issue. Let's make a machine to push more expensive games. Let's make a machine to push higher budgets of games. Like, none of this makes sense. And I'm telling you right now, if the new Switch comes out with some kind of power that can run games like the Final Fantasy Remake, Rebirth, the Tekkens, the Street Fighters, if they put out a machine that can run a plethora of all these games that are coming out, because I think graphical fidelity is going to be slowing down because budgets are going up. Budgets are going up, development times are going up, so the demands for graphics and everything, to me, that's going to go down. And if Nintendo puts out a system that is competitive, that can get some of these games, well, you can kiss Japan goodbye, Sony. And as far as all the other territories and regions, Sony will be coming for, Nintendo will be coming for Sony's market share. And that's not a prediction. It's going to be a fact. They've already booted Sony out of Japan. They've already outselling them in America. They're already outselling them in Europe. And if they get a machine that's powerful enough to run these games, and if they want to do a dock like an Ally ROG, like I've been stating they should do, Sony's in trouble. Or hell, maybe Sony already sees the writing on the wall. Maybe they see it, and that's why they're trying to get their games and their console manufacturers and their console fan base more comfortable with their games on the PC because they already know. Jim Ryan, he wasn't lying. He saw the writing on the wall with Sony. He saw all these failed GS games as a service games. He saw them not putting out games. He saw them putting games out on the PC. Helldivers is played on more people on the PC than is the console. He's seen it. And you know what? I think the people at Sony, they see it now too. They don't think they can compete with Nintendo. And yo, that sounds crazy, but it's kind of reality. I mean, Nintendo, when they owned the industry, they didn't do anything different. They made their games, they provided a platform for everybody else to make games on it too. And it sold. If Nintendo does that again, well, good luck, Sony. Have fun on that PS6 when your games are on PC and all Nintendo's games are only on the Switch too. I'm Black Bond. Y'all take it easy. Get some videos going out. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your day. Have a good time. Be easy.